Hello everyone, here Dr. Zahid Ansari, Professor, Department of Computer Science, PA College of Engineering, Mangalore, Karnataka, India. In this video, I am going to discuss about how to create a thread by extending the Java thread class. There are two ways of creating a new thread. One is create a new thread class by implementing the runnable interface, and the second method is create a new thread by extending the thread class of Java. In this second method, we create a new class that extends the thread class of Java. After creating the class, we create an instance of this class. Java's thread class, it provides both run and the start method. The extending class must override the run method. The run method is the method in which we write the code which we want the thread to run. In this new class what we create, we call the start method on the newly created class object. This is an example of how to create a new thread class by extending the Java's thread class. So we are creating our new thread class which extends the Java's thread class. In the constructor of our new thread class, we call the constructor of the thread class, and as a parameter we are passing the name of the thread. After that we are printing child thread, and we are printing the information about this thread. Then we call the start method. This start method will in turn call the run method. So in the newly created class, we also provide the definition of the run method, and in this run method, we provide the code what we want the thread to execute. Okay, so we are having a for loop which executes 5 times. The value I goes from 5 to 1. Okay, every time we are printing child thread, the current value of I, and after that we are making the child thread to sleep for 500 milliseconds, that is half a second. Since the sleep method is capable of throwing the interrupted exception in case if the thread gets interrupted, we are putting this code in the try catch loop. Okay, after the loop is over, okay, and if it doesn't cause any interruption, right, finally we print exiting the child thread. So this way we created a new thread class by extending the Java's thread class. Now we'll see the driver class. We give the name extend thread to it. In this we define the main method, and here we are instantiating the new thread class which we created just now. So we are instantiating our new thread class. So it calls the constructor. Okay, so we go back to our new thread constructor over here. In this we are calling the threads constructor, and we are printing the child information, and we are starting the thread. So the start method in turn called the run method, right? So this child thread then starts executing the loop over here where it is printing the child thread and the current iteration, and then it is sleeping for the for half a second. Okay, so once we instantiate the new thread starts executing, and the child thread starts executing the code that is there in the run method. The main thread which creates this child thread, right? Once the child thread is created and starts running, the main thread comes over here, right? So at this point of time, both main thread and child thread, they continue concurrently. Main thread executes this code and the child thread executes the code of the new thread's run method. The main thread in a for loop, 5 times it displays main thread and the current value of I, and after that the main thread it sleeps for 1 second. So we are making the main thread to sleep for 1 second and the child thread to sleep for half a second. So main thread will print the things slowly than the child thread over there. Once the main thread it is done, we print main thread exiting. Okay. So now let's see a demonstration of this in the NetBeans. Right. So here we have created the new thread as we discussed earlier, the run method of the new child thread. Then we have the driver class extend thread in which we create an instance of the new thread and we write the code which the main thread should run. The same code which we discussed in the slide. Okay, so let's run this. So I'm running this file. Okay, so it starts running. See, both the child and main thread both are executing simultaneously. Okay, if we see the result, first the child thread is created and it prints the information about the child thread. Then both main thread and child thread they are running. Main thread printed 5, then child thread printed 5. Child thread is faster, so it printed 4, then it printed 3. Main thread printed 4, child thread printed 2, main thread printed 3, child thread printed 1. Then child thread is done with its execution and so exiting the child thread. Main thread is still running because it is slow, it sleeps more. So main thread printed 2, then main thread printed 1, and finally main thread exited. Okay. So this way, in this video, we have learned how to create a new thread by extending the Java's thread class. Okay, thank you very much.